Okay, so Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are going to start the course of project management. My name is Ahmed Al Amri. I'm a graduate of Higher College of Technology from 2012 batch, and then the college has sent us to the UK to complete our master's degree. And since 2015, I'm teaching this particular course. Okay. This is a brief introduction about myself, so you will know whom you are talking to, especially that this is a course which is offered for both civil engineering students and architectural engineering students as well. Okay. The course is different in nature from any other course that you have studied. It mixes business with engineering, with mathematics, in real scenario situation. Project manager or project management is considered as the top most paid engineering job. It is the highest engineering job that you can get in terms of the reputation and in terms of money as well. The highest salary is normally offered for a project manager. Okay, and we are going to learn the basic things about project management, what you need to know about the different things, which will help you later on in starting your own business, or you're even contributing to a project, or even reaching to a level of a project management or a project manager. Okay, starting with uh, starting with a basic introduction about what are the things normally covered in this course and what are the assessments, although it's not yet finalized, but normally we start our lecture by that. And before even talking about the assessment, the only handout you will be having is a Breezy file that you are looking at. For the whole semester, we are going to only talk about this particular Breezy. The link has been already published for you in the team, so you can refer to it. Any modifications I do in the Breezy, directly it will appear for you, so you can directly relate to it. The sessions will be recorded, and you are going to be having the option either to see it from the teams, or in the same time I'm going to upload it in the e-learning. So you have both options, and it's up to you to decide which option you will go for. Okay. So starting with the project management, there are two things that you should know. Okay, one is the assessment and then reference textbooks. And we are going to talk about reference textbook. Now this is whatever we call it as the course description, the course name. For each and every course there is a course description in which there are certain outcomes needs to be met. Okay, for each and every course there are certain outcomes you need to you need to get them at the end of the course. Okay, and there are certain prerequisites, certain credit hours here. Now the prerequisite is only for civil engineering students. This is a civil engineering course, which is not given for those who are under architecture, and this will cause a little bit of a challenge for architectural engineering students because they lack some of the terminologies in which the civil engineering student has studied already in this previous prerequisite course. Anyhow, I'll try to recap whatever has been studied in that course earlier, and hopefully you will not be having a big issue in learning this course. Okay. This course is considered as a, let's say, not a memorizing course. It contains a lot of information, a lot of new information, and the only possible way for you to pass and get good marks, excellent marks in this particular course is to understand rather than to memorize, because there is a huge amount of information, and it's going to be a real challenge for you to memorize it, which I don't really recommend. Okay, because even the questions which will be coming to your examinations are basically case scenarios, case study scenarios, real analytical questions in which it will require the person to understand and then solve rather than memorize. Okay. Now for the assessments, I kept it for the meantime open till we get the final confirmation from the department or the college in what is the assessment for this semester. If you remember, the last semester we had a different assessment than the semester before, but most probably the summer semester is going to follow whatever assessment has been done in the previous semester. So we are expecting one test of 15 marks, an assignment for 15 marks, and then a midterm for 20 marks, followed by a final examination of 50 marks. So this is the division of the marks till now. If there is any update, I'll let you know about it later. Okay. Reference textbook. Whatever we are going to talk about is actually brought mainly from a book called BM Book, which is a guide to the project management body of knowledge. This is one of the most selling engineering books. The book is huge. It contains a lot of information. I wouldn't recommend you directly going to the textbooks and learning from it. Rather than that, what I would recommend you to go through the Breezy file to look to sessions or explanations in YouTube. The book will help you in understanding, summarize things, very, very focused items. It does not have a lot of explanation, which will help you for passing, for example, this particular course. Because once again, the book is too focused on the articles and clauses and the topics, and it does not give a lot of explanation compared to the sessions that you will get in YouTube or in the other references. And I have already uploaded for you a link where you can download this particular BM book. Now, BM book is a reference in which that a student or a graduate or an engineer later on can take a certification called PMP. Okay, so for you, before taking PMP, which is Project Management Professionals, Project Management Professionals is the certification for engineers and non-engineers as well, those who are working with projects, okay, which is equivalent normally to a master's degree. Okay, which is equivalent normally to a master's degree. So for you to prepare for that particular certification, you need to study this particular book. Okay, and we have built the whole handout and the whole Breezy file around this particular book. Okay, so this is just a slight introduction about the assessment and from where we have brought the information and the references for this particular. Now going for the actual start of the course itself. Now the methodology I'm adapting is a little bit different from whatever you have seen maybe in the other courses. I don't want to talk a lot in this particular course. This course is going to be a discussion. Okay, so we are going to discuss, we are going to learn from each other. Otherwise, you will feel bored and I'll feel bored. So keep it interactive rather than a rigid and a talk from one side. Okay. So going for the interactive example. Okay. So let's say that I have a task. Okay, I have a task. I have given you the students, and this task was built actually for physical classes. But anyhow, I'll try to make it uh, as practical as possible for the online classes as well. Okay. So once again, I have given you a task which is to create a tower. Okay. And these are certain pictures which are representing whatever shapes of tower that you can do, representing some of the materials in which that you can use for the creation of your tower. Okay. So once again, the task in the class, in the physical class, supposed to be creating a tower. Okay, with certain materials, certain different materials. Okay, and we are supposed to be 4 to 5 members in a group. So the first thing that I'll be asking you to do is to form 4 to 5 members. And once again, this is for a physical class, but each and every point I'm talking about now is going to help you to understand a certain point in project management. Okay, so 4 to 5 members, and from this 4 to 5 members, or from these 4 to 5 members, I would request you to choose one leader. Okay, so you need to sit together and choose one leader among yourself. I have given you a time of 20 minutes. Okay, and then I told you your budget is 20 riyals. Now this budget will be used to purchase materials or to purchase the items that you can use for the creation of the tower. Now I have told you that you can go for either the tallest or the longest or the most beautiful. Whatever tower you will be creating, that can be the tallest tower or the longest tower or the most beautiful. You need to choose one of these three and build up your your tower. And I have told you that the time can be extended for extra 5 minutes if the panel agreed. Okay, so there will be a panel. Okay, for example, let's say that I'm the panel, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes extra if I agreed. If you have given me some reasons that you couldn't finish in the time, and then based on your argument or based on your reason, I'm going to assess and give you the extra 5 minutes or not. Okay, and as we said, the tower construction material can be purchased from the panel. Okay, so I have given you a certain amount of money, and this amount of money can be used to purchase the tower. Okay, so this is a task which will help you in understanding the different let's say uh, points about projects and project management. I mean project management in general. Now, different things we are going to learn. These different 6 points. Mainly, we are going to learn them from this particular task. Okay. The first thing is project attributes. Okay. Can have before going, have you heard of project? Have you heard of the word project, and where did you have it? Have you heard? Anybody has heard of the word project itself? And can you tell me where have you heard it? Anybody? Once again, keep it interactive. Anybody? So you haven't heard the word project previously? You don't know what's a project? Okay. No. So everyone here does not know what's the meaning of a project? Yes, we have. Okay. Can you tell me where have you heard it? Anywhere? Anywhere have you heard the word project? Anywhere. Not necessarily in your courses. Anywhere have you heard of a project? Anybody? Okay, so it's widely used in construction, as Juhaina said. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. We heard it in construction when in the let's say in country, for example, when they have a
Okay,
new building and construction they build.
okay, that's good. Any other person? Any other person? Okay. Now to keep it a bit simple, for you to understand anything in life, okay, for you to understand anything, okay, for you to understand anything in life, you need to link it to something simple, not to link it to something complicated that you didn't even try till now. Okay, because whenever you are linking it to something which is complicated and you didn't even try till now, you are going to go for the part of memorizing rather than understanding. Okay, when you link it to something which is simple, the idea will never go from your mind. Okay, so project can be found in different forms. Okay, one of the forms is whatever you have said, which is construction. And for me, that's complicated because you have not, I mean, graduated yet. You didn't go actually work in the construction. Yes, mostly. I mean, most of you. Some of the part timers have done already, but most of you didn't. Okay. Now, whenever I'm going to talk about, for example, business, then it's going to be a project. Opening a business is a project. Okay. Now, even when I talk about the courses and the projects that you are having in your college, is considered as a project. Now, even in your courses names, like for civil engineering, you are having them as project, diploma project, advanced diploma project, BTech project. The same thing goes for the architectural engineering students. Eventually, even if it's called design one, design two, design three, whatever, eventually it's a project, right? Okay. So once again, project can be found into this different perspective. You can look at it from a larger scale, like the construction project that you refer to, or the simple things which are representing your daily activities. Okay. Now let us take something which is very easy, so everyone can understand rather than memorize. Okay. So let's take a project which that you have taken in the college. Okay. A project that you have taken in the college, whether, for example, let's say design for architecture, or for example, advanced diploma project in the civil engineering. I mean, both of them are representing a course or a project in your studies. Okay. Now, can you give me some of the highlights which are available in these particular projects? Can you start it at any time, or you need to start it at a certain time? Can I start, for example, the advanced diploma project or your design for architecture? Can I start it whenever I want, or it should be starting at the beginning of the semester and it should be ending up at the end of the semester? Okay, so timeline will be there. Okay, timeline will be there. So whenever we talk about any project, there will be some kind of attributes. Attributes are characteristics. Okay, these are things available or representing your project, and we are going to see them and understand them one by one. Okay. For example, for attributes, we have unique. Okay, and I'm going to explain them point by point. So we have unique, we have temporary, we have progressive elaboration, we have required resources. Our requires resources should have a primary sponsor or customer, and then involves uncertainty. So all of these attributes or all of these characteristics are available in a project. Okay. Now, when we talk about unique, now when you pass, for example, when you pass design 4 or advanced diploma project, are you going to repeat it once again, or you are going to do it only one time? Is it something which is repeated, or is it something that you are going to do for a one time? One time. Okay. Now, when you are going to do a construction, when you are going to do real construction projects, okay, when you are going to do real construction projects. So, for example, I have done a villa, and after I have finished a villa, I'm going to do another villa. Now, is it necessary that the first villa and the second villa are going to be exactly the same, or they are different? Labors are going to be the same or different? Consultants will be the same or different? Time will be the same or different? Materials will be the same or different? Different, right? So whenever we talk about a project, you will see that the project will always be unique. Means it will always be different from something else. Even if you failed, for example, in the course, let's say, la samahullah, you have failed in one of the courses. Okay, like let's say that you have taken this semester project management and you have failed, la samahullah, and you are going to take it in September. Is it going to be the same course? Is it going to be with the same students? Is it necessarily going to be with the same lecturer? Last semester was a different lecturer. This semester is a different lecturer. Last semester there was different exams. This semester will be having different exams. So whenever we talk about project, they represent something unique. Whenever you lost that uniqueness, it does not have any challenge. When it does not have any challenge, we cannot call it as a project. Are we clear? Are we clear about the first point? Okay. So once again, linking, linking these things to something that you have already experienced will be easy rather than memorize it. Okay, so do not memorize. I don't want people to memorize in my courses. What about temporary? Temporary. What is the meaning of temporary?
It means the project will be for only a period of time, then it will be removed or cancelled.
Okay, voice is breaking. But okay. When I say temporary, in short, it has a start and an end. Okay, it has a period of time only. In short, it has a start and it has an end. Okay, it has a start and it has an end. Now, when we talk about the projects in your college, or even the courses, do they have a start and start point and end point? The courses in your college, your projects, do they have start and end? Yes, we start at the beginning of the semester and we end up at the end of the semester. What about your college? What about studying, or I mean, getting the bachelor from the college, is it a project? Getting the bachelor from the college, is it a project? It is something unique. It's something new that we didn't do previously. So, okay, so it's unique. It is temporary as well, because it has a definite start and a definite end. When you started in the college, for example, whether you started in 2016 or 2017, it was a definite start. Eventually, you will end up from the college. You will not sit your whole life in the college. So it's temporary. Okay. So once again, temporary means it has a start and an end point. Are we clear about the second point? Very good. Very good. Progressive elaboration. Progressive elaboration. First, progressive elaboration. If you see the wording is a bit huge. Now, to make it a bit simple for us, we need to cut it down. Okay. So, what's the meaning of progressive? Progressive. When I say progress, what is the meaning of progress? We are going to have a lot of English. Progress. What's the meaning of progress? Progress. It's like a step by step. Okay. It's a step by step. It moves on. It's a step by step. Okay. What about elaboration? What about elaboration? Elaboration refers to clearness. Okay, whether the item is clear or not. Okay, elaboration is related to whether the item is clear or not, whether it's understandable or not. Okay, so if you see this terminology, it might be a bit tough for you to relate. But once again, when you link it to something that you have done already or you have experienced, it wouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I'll give you an example and hopefully you will understand the meaning of progressive elaboration. Okay, now let's refer to architecture now. Okay, let's refer to architecture. Now, assuming that I'm the architect. Okay, assuming that I'm the architect and I have met with a client. Okay, the client came to me and he said, for example, I have a plot of 600 meters square. I want you to do a plan for me. Okay, once again, the client, the owner, came to me as an architect. He told me I have a plot which is 600 meters square and I want you to make what you call a design for me. Now, at the beginning of the discussion, is the thing clear for you on how to make everything, or still you require some information? You require some information. So you will go and ask him how many rooms you require, how many bedrooms, how many toilets, how many kitchens, right? So the picture is little bit becoming clearer for you. Okay. Next question you will be asking him, how many floors you want. So the picture is going to be a little bit clearer. Okay. So once again, when we talk about progressive elaboration, whenever you are trying something new for the first time, at the beginning, the picture is not something which is clear. Whenever time passes, you will see that the picture is a little bit clearer for you. Is it clear? Are we clear? Okay, once again, anything in life, not only in project management, anything in life. Whenever you try something new, at the beginning, always it is going to be not clear. Whenever time passes and when you enter to the thing, you will see that the things is becoming a little bit clearer for you. So this is the meaning of progressive elaboration. It means whenever time passes through your project, the project picture becomes clearer. The details become clearer for you. Okay, and we are going to have another example, which is going to be a bit easier for you later on. Requires resources. Can you complete any construction project without materials? Can I complete any construction any construction project, any villa, for example, without materials, without labors, without the design? Can we do that? Can you do any type of a project without resources? Can you do your college project without a computer? Can you do it without a supervisor? Without books and references? Can I start a business project without having money? Without having labors? Without having a place? Okay. Can I pass an exam without studying? Without having a reference? So once again, whatever type of a project, you will see that you cannot do without having the resources. And once again, whatever type of a project, you will see whatever points that we have talked about, whether it's a unique, whether temporary, progressive elaboration, or requires resources, will fit in any type of a project. Okay. Point number 5 says should have a primary sponsor or customer. Now, first, before talking about should have a primary sponsor or customer, we should have somebody who will pay, right? We should have somebody who will pay. Do you agree? If I'm opening a business project, for example, if I want to open a coffee shop or a restaurant, there must be somebody who's paying, whether it's me or somebody else. Right. Now, for me, even being in the college studying, I need somebody who is going to pay my expenses. Right. Since I cannot do any type of a project without money, without resources. Okay. Let us say now referring to funding and money. Now, what is the difference between sponsor and customer, or an owner? Let's say. Anybody? Sponsor and a customer?
The sponsor will be he will give you the money, but you will give it back until the project will complete or after the project will complete. The owner, he will give you the money to complete the project.
Still, I didn't get you. Can you elaborate a little bit? Can you explain?
Like I will give example. Like
Okay.
this sir, he will give you money to build the mall. You will be
Okay.
your own. That will be your own project.
Okay.
But the owner of the project, he will have the project, and you will be just working to him.
Okay. So now you are turning into a new term. No, let's keep it English so everyone will understand as well. Okay. Now you have introduced a new term which is investor. So now we have 3. We have sponsor. Let's keep them 4. We have sponsor, customer. Okay, sponsor and customer. These are the initial 2. We have investor you have introduced, and then we have owner or client. So there are 4 now. How to differentiate between them? Okay, let us start with the 2 which are very close to each other. we have customer and we have client. Okay, we have customer and we have client. Customer is normally terminology which is used in business. Customer is the person normally who purchases something. Okay, customer is more used in business terminology. Is a person who purchases something. So, for example, if I have a restaurant, then the people who are purchasing from me, I don't call them clients. Normally, I call them customers. Okay, those who are purchasing from my own restaurant or my coffee shop. Now, when it comes to client is normally a person who purchased something and he will own it. Like, for example, a person who is building his own house, he is paying and he owns it in the same time. So we call him as a client or owner. Okay, for non-business terminologies, we refer to owner or client. And then the remaining two, we have sponsor and we have investor. Okay, investor is a person who is paying you money. Okay, who is paying you money, helping you to start your own business. Okay, but at a certain time, you need to return back the money for him. That's the investor, whether returning back the money fully or returning back the money in terms of installments. Okay, so an investor is a person who will give you the money, but at the end you need to return back to him, whether you are returning the same amount of money or you are returning it as in terms of profits each and every month. Is it clear? When it comes to investor will give you money, but he requires something in return. Are we okay? Is it clear about investor? Okay. Sponsor is normally a person who will pay amount of money, but he does not own. Okay, sponsor is a person or entity who will pay amount of money he does not own and he does not wait for money to be returned back. Once again, customer, owner or client, they pay and they own. Okay, they own the thing. Okay, I went and I purchased the land. I paid 20,000 for a plot or a land. Then the land is mine. Customer, he went to a restaurant and he purchased some food from the restaurant. He owns the food. Investor is a person who is giving you the money. Okay, so I'm giving you now 20 riyals. Return it back to me next month, 30 riyals. I'm investing with you 20 riyals. So he requires money back. Sponsor is a person who will give you the money, but he does not own. Okay, he does not own. Can you give me an example which will make it very easy for you to understand? And this example you are seeing in your daily life. Can you give me an example which will make it very easy so you'll not memorize whatever I have said?
Sir, can I try again?
Yeah, you can try.
Let's say we have an event.
Okay.
So we have a Bank Muscat as a sponsor.
Okay.
So that will give us money, but he will own anything in that event.
Okay.
It is a sponsor.
Okay.
If Bank Muscat want to build a new building, he will
Okay.
be owner. So he will give us money to build his building.
Okay, very
So
good.
this is between sponsor and honoring.
Okay, a very good example. What your friend has said. Can we have something simpler so you will not? Once again, that's why I told you. You can look up for examples which are a bit complicated for you. And for me, I don't like normally to link it to construction a lot. So still, you didn't go to the construction. Okay. If you understand the things which are surrounding you, and you can create examples from the things surrounding you, then it's going to be very easy for you to create things from the things which are away. Okay? But the example your friend or your colleague has said is correct. Okay. Can I give you an example which is a bit easier as I assume? Now, do we have any part-timer here? Any part-timer? Any of the part-timers? Okay. Okay. So we have two types of students in the college, in the course, let's say. We have regular students and we have part-time students. At the end of the courses, both of them, they will get the BTech certificate, right? Now, Ahmed is a part-timer, for example. The others are regular students. At the end of bachelor, both of you, whether it's Ahmed or the rest, will get a bachelor degree. Do you agree? Do you agree with that? At the end, the part-timer or a regular student, at the end of the courses, both will have a certificate, right? Okay. Now, Ahmed, who is paying the money for you, for your studies? Okay. So Ahmed is a person who is paying the money for himself and he owns the certificate. Okay. He owns the certificate. The certificate is under his name. Okay. And he is paying for his studies. So now he is acting as a customer or client. He's paying for his studies and he is getting it. He owns it at the end. The other students, are you paying or the government is paying for you? Other students, the government is paying for you or are you paying? Okay, so somebody is paying for your studies. Who will get the certificate? The certificate, is it going to be under the name of the government or is it going to be under your name? Your certificate at the end, is it going to be under the government name or your name? Okay, very good. So now we have two scenarios. Scenario number one, a customer, a person who pays and he owns, he paid the money and he owns the certificate. Second category, there is a group of people whom has been sponsored by the government, but eventually they are the ones who are owning. Okay. So sponsor is a person who is giving you money, but he does not own. Government is paying for your studies, but they don't own the certificate. You own it. Is it clear? Okay. Another example. Okay. I wanted to open a restaurant. Restaurant is going to cost me 30,000 riyal. Okay. So once again, I wanted to open a restaurant. Restaurant is going to cost me to 30,000 riyal. Now I have 20,000 Omani riyal only. I have 20,000 Omani riyal. Okay. Restaurant costs 30,000. I have only 20,000. Okay. Now I have three options. Once again, 30,000 is the cost of the restaurant. I have 20,000. Three options I have. Option A is going for the bank to get the 10,000. Now, when you go for the bank and get the 10,000, who will pay eventually the 10,000? Okay. the bank is going to pay the 10,000, in which later on you are going to pay for the bank, right? So eventually you are the one paying the remaining amount of money. Okay. Now, how many owners in this project? How many owners will be there in the project? How many owners in the project? Does the bank own? Will the bank own? The bank only gave you the money. Okay. So there will be only one owner, which is myself. I got the remaining amount of money from the bank as a loan, and I need to return it back to the bank. But eventually the restaurant is mine only. Option B. Option B, I got an investor who is ready to pay 10,000 with me. Okay, option B, I have got an investor who is ready to pay 10,000 with me. So 20,000 will be paid by me, 10,000 will be paid by him. How many owners are there? Two. Okay, and we call them shareholders. Okay, we call them shareholders. Share means they own a percentage. Okay, share means they own a percentage. We call them shareholders. Okay, so we have two shareholders. Option number C, we have talked about option number A. We have talked about option number B. We talked about option number C. I have 20,000 and my father has helped me with the remaining 10,000. Okay. So I have the 20,000. My father has helped me in the 10,000. Okay, and the remaining 10,000. Who owns the restaurant? Your father acts as what? Okay, your father here acts as a sponsor. He helped you with the money, but he does not own. Right? Now, is it clear the differences between them? The differences between the different terminologies that I have talked about. Is it clear? Okay. So once again, try to think of things which are easy for you to remember, rather than thinking of complicated things. Okay. What about the last one? What about the last one, which is involved uncertainty? What makes a project hard? What makes any project hard? What makes anything in life hard? Okay, risks other than risks. Whatever makes anything in life hard is that you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Okay, is that you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Now you see that there were a lot of good projects in Oman, a lot of good projects. But these good projects, they have shut down because of COVID. Why? Because they didn't know what is going to happen at this time. Okay, so whenever we talk about a project, whatever is the type of a project, as long as it's a project, it keeps involving uncertainty because you don't know what will be happening tomorrow. Okay, as an example, let's say let's say, for example, and a good example is whatever has happened last year. Last year, you were studying. You're supposed to be finishing your bachelor at the end of last year. Okay, things were going very fine. In the middle of the year, they told you that COVID is there. COVID started in China. So things are starting without you knowing your plans. Everything was planned in such a way that you are going to finish in the summer. You didn't know that this will happen. You didn't know that last semester or last summer semester is cancelled. Okay. You will not know when it comes to construction projects. You will not know whether tomorrow is going to be a rain or not. You will not know whether materials will be reaching on time or not. You will not know whether your worker is going to be sick or not. So that's a problem when it comes to uncertainty. Even let's say if you're having an exam tomorrow, your laptop might not be working at that time. Okay, this is one of these are some of the challenges which you are going to face. Because whenever we talk about any project, we talk about future. And whenever you talk about future, you talk about time that you don't know what will happen in that particular period of time. Are we clear whenever we talk about uncertainty? Uncertainty means things are not clear in the future, what will happen. Are we clear about it? So these are the attributes, and I have given here some examples which will try to summarize whatever I have said. Unique. You are entering to the college. Okay, you are entering to the college for a certain purpose. What is the purpose? Why are you entering to the college? Why have you entered to the college? Okay. Now, a lot of answers are there. Now, those who have said to study, you cannot study outside the college. You cannot study from YouTube. Can you study from YouTube? Can you study from YouTube? Can you study from books? Yeah, we can study. So then it's not your target, because that can be done somewhere else. If you can do it somewhere else, then it's not your target. Your target is to get a certificate. Okay. So you are entering to the college to get the degree, to get the bachelor degree. Okay. That's your desire, that's your target. Okay, is to get the degree. Now if you got the Bachelor of Architectural Engineering from SCT, will you go and repeat it once again? Will you go and study once again in the same college with the same specialization? No, it's over. Whatever you do in a project, it is unique. It is done only one time. Okay. There is no point of doing it once again. Are we clear with the example? So once again, I'm entering to the college to get a certificate. I'm going to do it only once. So that's why it's unique. The example of temporary. Let's say a student have entered to the college at 2016. He graduated at 2020. He entered with a specific year. He finished at a specific year, which makes it temporary. it it starts and finish at a certain point. Progressive elaboration. Now, when you have started your engineering, okay, when you started your engineering, you had a picture about your specialization, and a lot of you have chosen your specialization because you have heard from the others, but you didn't know the clear picture about your specialization. So you can see when you started your road in your specialization in diploma first year, you had some information about your specialization. Okay, you had some information about your specialization that you are going to take. Okay, some slight information. Later on, when time passes, when you enter to diploma second year, and then you went to advanced diploma, you will see that you understood your specialization more. Whenever you come closer to the BTech level, you will see that the picture becomes a bit clearer for you. Okay, this is the meaning of progressive elaboration. At the beginning, when you start anything in life, the picture is not clear. Whenever time passes, you will see that the picture is going to be clearer and gets completed for you. Are we okay with progressive elaboration? It requires resources, and once again, we said we cannot do your college classes or your college projects. You cannot do them without a lecturer. You cannot do them without a school. You cannot do them without stationery. You cannot do them without internet. Like in this particular time, you cannot study without having an internet, for example. Okay. So without resources, nothing can be done. Without equipment, I cannot construct. Without materials, I cannot construct. Without money, I cannot, or let's say without labors, I cannot start a coffee shop. Without a place, I cannot start a coffee shop. So anything in life, when it comes to a project, it requires resources. I cannot fill a form. Okay, I cannot fill a form without a pen. Filling a form is a project because you are doing it for the first time. Without a pen, I cannot do it. Okay. So anything in life, from the simplest thing to the most complicated thing. Sponsor or customer, and we have mentioned the example of the government paying for you your study fees, and those who are studying themselves. College is paying for you your studies. So the college, government is paying for you the studies fees. So the government is the sponsor, but the certificate is going to be under your name. They paid for you, but you own the certificate. Part-timers are paying for themselves and they are owning. Government is paying customer. Government is being the sponsor, and you are being the customer. Uncertainty, once again, nobody knows whether he will pass or fail. Hopefully, everyone will pass. Okay. And nobody knows when, for example, natural disasters are going to be happening in any project. Okay. So one example is related to your courses. Another example is related to natural disasters. Nobody knew about COVID before 1 month from COVID. Nobody knew that his business is going to shut down. Nobody knew that nobody will go out for 1 year. Okay. The same case when we had Gono, nobody knew. Okay. So that's why it's a challenge, because we deal with unknown things. Okay, when you say uncertainty, we refer to unknown things. All of these are the characteristics. They are building the meaning of a project, from the simplest example of a project till the most complicated form of a project. Okay, and we will go to the project constraints and then we'll stop. Now, what are the limits here for you? Can you see the example which I have given you? Did I specify some limits for you? You cannot exceed them. Did I specify some limits you cannot exceed? Can you exceed the 20 reals budget that I have told you? Can you exceed the 20 reals budget? Is it possible for you to exceed the 20 reals budget here? Time. Okay. And then there is a scope. Can you go and do, for example, can you do a road rather than a tower? Can you do a road rather than a tower? No. Okay. So you have certain limitations that you cannot go out. Okay. So for example, in your design for architecture students, in your design, for example, in your design 4, if they have told you that design 4, you need to design a hotel. Can I go and do, for example, a mall? No, because it's out of the scope. Okay, it's out of the scope. Okay, it is out of the scope. Can you submit the semester after? Can you submit the semester after? Or can you submit the next year whenever you want? No. Can you go and purchase, for example, a laptop and you don't have money for your project? No. Okay. So for any type of project in life, any type, whether it's construction, non-construction, college, non-college, you have mainly the three basic constraints or limits. When I say constraints, means limits. Three limits are there, always. One is time, second is cost, third is scope. And scope is representing the requirements. Okay, representing whatever you need to do. Okay, or what's needed to be done. Okay, so if we say here, we have something called triangle of management. There are three angles for any triangle. Okay, so we have in each angle we have one constraint. So we have time, cost, and scope. Okay, we have time, cost, and so this is what we have said. The example of the example that we have referred to. So the example should have taught you. Let's see, if you are doing it if you are having a physical life, you should have done the task in the class itself, and you will learn the meaning of having a constraint of 20 minutes or the cost of 20 reals or the scope of doing a tower. Okay. So for any project in life, you have some limitation. You should not go beyond them, because if you went beyond them, you will lose everything. Okay. Like the cost, money, and then the cost, time, and then the scope, which is a tower. We have further things. Okay, we have further additional constraints. Okay, we have additional constraints which are resources, risks, and quality. Okay, we have said I have a specific time, I have a specific cost, and I have a specific thing to be done. In the wider picture as well, I will be having some limitation in the resources. There will be only certain type of resources. Like here, for example, if you return back to the picture that I have told you, you will see that I have specified certain types of materials only, or certain types of materials. Okay, you cannot go and use whatever you want. Okay, so once again, you have some constraints in terms of resources, some limitations. You cannot go beyond them. Okay, same with number of number of members, 4 to 5 members. Can you go and create a group of 10 members just to finish fast? No, once again you have a limitation in terms of resources. Okay, a limitation in terms of quality. The owner will tell you that I want it to be a certain quality delivered to me. Okay. The same thing with the lecturer. If your quality is less, even if you maintained your cost, your scope, your time, your resources, but you didn't maintain a certain level of quality, you will see that the lecturer will give you, for example, a C grade or B grade. Why? Because you didn't maintain that level of quality required. Okay. So once again, another limitation is risk. Okay. Another limitation is risk, in which for certain types of projects there is certain risk I cannot go beyond, and we are going to learn in detail the meaning of risk in the upcoming sessions. So in short, once again, for any type of a project, there will be some kind of limitations for me, things I should not exceed. The main three are time, cost, and scope. From the beginning, I should not exceed them. But in reality, when it comes to real projects, you will never deliver. You cannot satisfy all of them. You cannot satisfy time, scope, and cost. That's why we see most of the projects are finishing late. Okay. But whenever you finish late, cost will be affected and scope will be affected. It is like I have one angle here, another angle here, another angle here, and in each and every angle I have one person pulling a rope. Okay, rope pulling, شد الحبل. So I have one person here pulling, another person here pulling, and another person pulling here. If they are pulling with the same intensity, you will see that the point will be coming here. You don't have any preference. Quality is having the same importance like cost, the same importance like scope. But when it comes to reality, you need to decide which one is more important for you, whether it's time or scope or cost. Is it important for me to finish in time and pay extra amount of money? Is it important for me to finish in time with the same budget, with the same cost, but not to finish the full project? Or is it better for me that I'm going to limit my cost, not to exceed the budget, to finish everything, but rather than finishing it in 5 months, to finish it in 7 months? Okay, and at that time you will see that your rope is going to lean to one side, and normally in practice it leans to the time. Okay, that's why most of the projects are not going to finish on time, because later on you are going to be having a decision to make whether you prefer cost or scope. Okay, cost or scope, plus you have a constraint of resources, you have restraints of quality, and you have restraints of risk. Like for example, COVID now. Now, initially my project was 6 months, but COVID has happened. Lockdown is happening now. I cannot work. So because of this risk, I cannot maintain my time, which is 6 months. So this is another constraint for me. Have you got the meaning of constraint? Constraints are the limits which are controlling your project, whatever is the type of a project. Have you got whatever I have said? Okay, very good. Doing that, we have finished today's session, because the session in Ramadan is 1 and 15 minutes, 1 hour and 15 minutes class. Okay. So doing that, we have finished today's session. If you have any question, you are free to ask. If you don't have any question,